Hello there, my friend. Welcome to another coaching corner here on YouTube. My name is Sabrina Militello. I'm the owner of Empower Her Coaching, and I'm so excited to be able to talk to you. Now, excuse the environment, the general dishevelment, maybe the look of exhaustion on my face, but I just got done with a kick-ass workout, and I always do my best thinking when I'm sweating. And I wanted to bring this week's lesson or message to you when I was in this energy, because I think it's so real and so raw, and there's something that you can get out of this. I truly believe that. So when it comes to the limiting beliefs that you have about your life, because I know there's so much that you want to achieve, right? I acknowledge you for that, because you're somebody who is trying to step into the very best version of themselves in your health, in your career, in your relationships. And I want you to acknowledge yourself for that, because that truly is special. But you're trying to do all these things. You're trying to separate yourself maybe from your family history or things that have blocked you in the past. But it's so hard, right? It's so hard to step outside of those limitations or the perceived limitations that you have. Every time you try and do something different, maybe you're hit with an obstacle or a challenge, and the voice inside your head is always ready and waiting to say, see, I told you couldn't do it. See, why even bother trying? What if you look stupid? What if you make a mess out of this? What if you fail? She's always there to kind of gut check you, right? And that can feel so defeating. It can feel frustrating. It can truly feel like you're always going to struggle. And that throws up some practical blocks for you. And I want to talk today about the practical blocks, because I'm not into conceptualizing your growth. There's a lot of things that I believe to be true when it comes to the woo-woo of this growth process. But I think we have to take it beyond a conceptual conversation, right? We're no longer conceptualizing your growth with frameworks or just hypotheses and kind of ideas, but truly being able to take those learnings and those teachings, the things that you're hearing and noticing around you, and being able to put them into practical application so that your life can change and you can move forward and beyond in the ways that you want to. Excuse my squeaky bench that I'm sitting on. So what does that look like? Practically, to shift outside of your limiting beliefs, we have to shift outside of our limiting behaviors. Let me say that again. To shift outside of our limiting beliefs, we must find it within us to shift outside of our limiting behaviors. One of the ways in which that can look is to start to change and adjust your language. So one of the practical tools for your growth is to adjust the things that you say. A lot of the times, the words that we speak come from beliefs and thoughts that we're thinking that may be completely unconscious, right? And one of the things that I hear people say a lot is, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to build that business that I really want to build because I want to be able to work for myself and do work that I love. I don't have time to exercise, but I really want to get healthier. I don't have time to meal prep or find a way to change my eating habits because I really want to lose this weight or shift and transform this medical diagnosis I have, but I don't have the time. When you say, I don't have time, what you're truly saying is that thing is not a priority. And I'll give you a second to have that gut punch moment, because when it comes to things like your ambition, the dreams that you have for your life, maybe the life that you want to create for your family, the level of health you have, maybe having longevity in your future, not disease. When you say that those things are not a priority, how does that sit with you? Because when you say you don't have time to make those changes in these big areas of your life where you know change is necessary, you're saying it's not a priority. And I know, being who you are, being a woman that's in this process of wanting to engage and grow, it is a priority for you. So I know that when you just had that moment, you were like, that doesn't sit well. So what can change? We have to now make the time for the things that we prioritize, because isn't it true that we always have time for the things that are a priority in our lives? You always have time to take care of your kids. You always have time to do whatever it is that your husband messed up and you need to go and fix. You always have time to do the 27 million projects that your boss gave you. You always have time. This is from my story, but I know that you can probably relate to this. I always had time to sit on the couch and binge eat my feelings in order to numb from my life. I always had time for that. But I didn't have time to exercise or eat right or plan my meals or prioritize my business. So it's not that you don't have time. It's not that you're not, it's not that you don't have time. It's that you're not making time for these things. And so the practical tool for this is to give yourself a time audit. This is something that I teach my one-on-one coaching clients, that I'm working with them on their performance, a lot of them in building businesses, in progressing their career forward and progressing their performance in their chosen field. We do a time audit. And what that looks like practically is just taking a note every time you're not doing something that you should, quote unquote, be doing. So when you're not engaging with your children, when you're not doing things around the house, when you're not working, if you're an idle chit chat with your colleagues, make a note of that, how long that happened for in the day. If you're scrolling on social media, make a note of it, how long that happens in that block of time and how many times a day that happens. If you're out taking a cigarette break, how often, how many times a day, and for how long is that happening? If you're sitting down in front of the TV, for how long is that happening per day? Without judgment, just take a note and do this over a one day. If you want extra credit, do it for a week long. I do a week long time audit with my one-on-one clients. And what we find always, without fail, always, is that there is time in the day to prioritize the actions that you keep saying you don't have time for. There's always time. There was a study that I was reading, they were talking about how the average American now spends 2 to 3 hours on social media per day. 2 to 3 hours on social media per day. In the course of a month, this amounts to, I think it's in the course of a month, it amounts to something like 30 something hours, longer than that. What was it? It's like an additional week of time or something in a month. I think I'm thinking of the year long. I think the year long was like 3 months of your life that you're spending scrolling through this app. And I'm so happy that you are, because you're here listening to this, but perhaps spending 3 months of your life in the year working towards your dream, working to shift your health, working to prioritize the things that are a priority for you, that would be better suited than mindlessly scrolling on social media. Can you see? It's just a small example, but it really highlights where it is that we continue to believe the lie of I don't have time, when actually what we're saying, and this, oh God, it hurts me to even say it, is that thing is not a priority. And I know that doesn't sit right from you. So some things have to change, right? Some things have to change. And a lot of the time it's the belief system around what it is that you want to, what the behaviors that you want to shift. Often the block is not that you don't have time, as we've just discovered. It's that you don't believe that either you're worth the time it would take, or you're worth the energy that is required in order to make that change. And that's where the conversation becomes different, right? The practical block is your time. But the belief block, the mindset block, is that you're not worth the time. And that's the work that needs to be done. Because you could sit there and take a time audit every day of your life and realize that you have these blocks of time throughout your day, every week, throughout every month of the year, that you could be doing X, Y, and Z with. But until you shift that mindset of I'm not worth the time, the energy, the intentionality in order to make that shift, then you're not going to do anything different. So the practical block, I don't have time. The belief block, I'm not worth the time. Where does that shift need to happen in your belief system? What is it that you can do to start to shift your belief system? Again, I'm going to give you a practical tool, because we're done conceptualizing your growth, right? The practical tool is intentionally working on your belief system. What are you listening to? Are you reading books? Are you engaging the knowledge of long distance mentors or people that are knowledgeable in the space of mindset work? Are you intentionally consuming content that is around rewriting that belief? Are you confronting yourself and where some of these beliefs come from and unpacking what that has looked like for you so that you can start to shift and adjust and move forward in these ways? It's a step by step process, but it does not happen by accident. You have to be incredibly intentional around your growth, especially in this area of your limiting beliefs, this area of where your thoughts block your forward movement, because you're with yourself every day, every hour of every day, every single freaking minute of every day. And so if this doesn't change, the actions, the behaviors required for change won't. I am committed to continuing to bring you conversation that digs really deep into what's true, what's going on for you. Beyond, I can't do this, I don't think that's possible, what if this happens, what if that happens, but truly giving you the practical tools to get past some of those surface level limits and then unlock the deeper level work that needs to happen. Anthony Trucks calls it the dark work that needs to happen in order for the thinking to change, in order for the thought processes to change, in order for the belief system to change. There's far too many people in our society that are stuck in the belief that they can't change the things that they're unhappy with in their lives. And I'm not okay with that. So in this space is where you can always find something that's going to help you move forward. All right. That's my promise to you. You can hold me to that. And that's what my work is always going to underlie. So thank you for being here. I hope this served you. Please share what your biggest takeaway from that was. Comment below, share this on social media, wherever it is that you want to really step into that, holding yourself accountable to doing the work. Share what it is you're learning as you're going through the work. And you never know, you may infect other people along the way too. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you later.